Alright everyone, now that you have the UltraClick theme, in this lecture we are going to be talking about how to use the UltraClick theme, the different settings and options that are available there, how to solve the problem of advertisement blindness, and also how to place your advertisements so that your advertisements get more real estate on your website. So let's go to it. After you have installed the UltraClick theme, which is very easy to do, you get a zip file, you download the zip file from the creators of the UltraClick theme, and then you just have to go to appearance, and in the themes area you just have to upload the file and activate the theme. And the moment you activate the UltraClick theme, this menu is going to appear in your dashboard called the UltraClick. You click on this and this is the page that you're going to see. This is the UltraClick theme settings page. The first step is to go to this area here that says general site options. This area deals with how your website looks. So we're going to click on this, and there are 5 different sub-themes under this specific theme. So what we're going to do is, depending on the existing layout of your theme or the existing layout of your website, since you are actually moving on to a new theme, you would have to change these settings. So let's say, for instance, if you have a minimalist look on your website, what you're going to do is you are probably going to select this radio button here, so this sub-theme gets activated. If you have a more flashy theme in your existing website, you could change to this option here, or maybe even this one, or this one. Now, let me tell you something very clearly here. Even though there are just 5 different sub-themes here, which I personally find more than enough, if you want your website to look more flashy and more elaborate than what these sub-themes have to offer, what you can do is you can make use of different plugins. For example, if you want a carousel slider right at the top of your website in the header area, you can simply include the WordPress carousel slider plugin, and that is going to put in the images, and the images are going to slide by. If you want to change the look and color of your theme, you can do that right inside the UltraClick theme itself, so you don't have to download any plugins. Now, personally, I keep my websites minimalist. I do not do them very elaborately. My goal here with Adsense websites is to earn money. I bring in the traffic and I want people to click on my websites. I'm not entering a competition where whose website looks better. So looks are not really very important for me, but if you are more concerned about looks, you can install plugins and you can start including carousel sliders or maybe content sliders or image galleries and stuff like that. So depending on what settings you would like, you can change the theme settings and you can choose any sub theme that you like. This one has a blue, an aqua blue setting here. This one has a marine blue setting with orange highlights. This one again is a bit different. This one has a header image area, and this one again has a green text with green highlights. So you can play around with the settings here. The first option here is site header. If you want your website to have a caption, you can put in your caption here. Your example would be first part of the name of your website, and niche site would be the second part of your name. For example, if your website is abc.com, you can put abc in the your example area and .com in the niche site area, and that is going to appear on your website. So you can play around with these settings. These are very simple. The second one is site header image. If you want a header image to appear on your website, and if you have chosen this theme here, the blue one that says your site name here, if you choose this radio button, this specific sub-theme, and then you click here, you can upload a header image file, and that header image is going to appear on your website. So it's very simple. Now, don't do the push down image 1 and push down image 2, etc., because these have been designed to increase your AdSense CTR even more. Now, you're already getting 30 to 32% or maybe even 35% CTR with the UltraClick theme. I personally do not think you need anything else. So don't use the push down images. I personally do not use them. If you want to use them, you can do that, but I don't think it's totally required. So you can skip the push down image part, and we are going to skip the push down image 2 as well. Then we are going to go down, and here you can see use tagline instead, and you can check these boxes depending on what you want. You can override the theme's default color scheme, and you can put in your own colors. If you check this box, then you would have a lot of different options. For example, you can change the background of the website, the container background color, the menu background color, the text background color, and stuff like that. Now, I don't play around with these settings a lot, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if you want to change these settings, you can check this box and you can play around with the settings. It's very, very simple to do. The next box here is Google Analytics code. If you have Google Analytics enabled, if you have a Google Analytics account so you can track your visitors, so you can track your traffic, you can put that code in here inside this theme itself, and this theme is going to tell you about your traffic. If you have footer scripts, as I told you earlier, you can make a lot of customization using this very specific theme. So if you have footer scripts, if you want some specific items to be displayed in your footer area, you can include that in the footer scripts box and you can put those items in here. Disable the ultra-click footer link. Now, at the bottom of your website, there's going to be a link that says this website is powered by ultra-click theme. If you want to disable that link, you can check this box here. That's it. It's very, very simple. Now, let's move on to the Adsense options, because as far as the website options, the general website options are concerned, you just have to try and test out different stuff, and then you would know what you want, and you can settle for that. But for the Adsense options, I'm going to show you a few important things here. So you expand this button. The first option is disable ad serving. This option has been put here so you don't have your advertisements available on your website when you don't have any content. Since you probably already have a website, since you're already getting traffic on that website, so this option is not for you. Now, if you want to hide ads from specific referrers, for example, I do not like ads from blogger.com or maybe 7search.com or these low CPC advertisements. So sometimes I do put those advertisement names or advertiser names in this box, but then you can make those setting changes in your AdSense account as well. So if you want to do that, you can do that in your AdSense account. If you want to make those changes here, you can include the names of advertisers that you do not want to appear on your website. The next option is the AdSense 160 by 600 code, 336 by 280 code. These are all different boxes here for the different advertisement sizes. You just have to go to your Google AdSense account. For example, if this is your AdSense account, you can click on New Ad Unit. And the moment you do that, you will be able to choose the different ad settings, the different ad sizes. And then you can take those ad sizes and take the codes and put them in these boxes. And the website is going to have those advertisements displayed. So again, this is the 728 by 90 code, which is a horizontal banner. This is the link unit code. So these are very easy settings, and I don't need to explain about these things. What I really need to talk about is the ad layout area. This is the most important part, and this is the only reason why I use this theme. I do not necessarily like everything that is there in this theme, but what I really like about this theme is the ad layouts option, and this is the only reason why I use this theme. So I'll talk about this a little bit. Now here, the green boxes are actually the areas where your advertisements are going to appear, depending on which checkbox you select. For example, if you click on this checkbox here, your website is going to have advertisements appearing in the left-hand column and then two box advertisements appearing side by side. If you check this box, then as you can notice, you can check multiple boxes at once. If you check both of these boxes together, and you have the option of checking all the boxes or a single box, whatever you want, if you check multiple boxes together, the advertisements are going to auto-rotate, and that is going to take care of the problem of advertisement blindness. So let's say, for instance, if you check these two boxes here, these two different areas would have the advertisements, and the advertisements are going to rotate. So if a visitor comes for the first time, he would be seeing the advertisements appearing in this specific scheme. The second time he comes to your website, he would see the advertisements appearing in this scheme. So he would not grow blindness to your advertisements, and your CTR is going to go up. That is the only reason why we are using this theme. Now, what I personally do is, even though you have the option of checking all the different boxes here, there are like 5 or 6 different boxes here. You can check all these boxes, but I do not do that. What I personally do is I simply keep my advertisement schemes to 2 options, just this one here and this one here. What that does is, if you check the one in the left hand side, this one here, what that does is you have almost 60% of your website covered with advertisements on the left hand side, and then when the advertisements start rotating, the same thing happens with the right hand side. I'll show an example here. Now this is what it looks like when you have the advertisements on the left hand side. So the first box that you checked is going to put the advertisements in this fashion. And now I'm going to show you the second option. If you checked the box on the right hand side, this is how your website is going to look. So these are the two different options. Now the most important point here is I have limited my content length to the total length of the advertisement. The whole idea here is to serve advertisements and keep serving advertisements even if your customer or your visitor scrolls down to the bottom of the website to read the entire content. So let's say, for instance, you have a big page of content and you cannot accommodate the entire content in a single page. What will you do in that case? It's very simple. What I personally do is, if it reaches the bottom of the page and it has reached the entire length of the advertisement at the bottom, what I do is I simply put in a read more tag in there. If you are a WordPress user, you would already know what read more means. So I put in a read more tag there, and when the customer or the website visitor clicks on that read more tag, he is taken to another page where he can read the entire content once again. And there also, he would be served with advertisements that are taking up almost 60% of the page. That's the whole idea here. Now, if you have a website, let's say related to jobs, or maybe a directory website, a website that has content available in small chunks of text, in that case, the advertisements and the content are going to look similar, even though the advertisements would have different color than the text. But the content and the advertisements are going to look similar, and you would have better click-through rates. But even if you have paragraphs, as you can see in this picture here, I have a paragraph here. Even if you have paragraphs, and if you have content and advertisements running side by side through the entire length of the website, you would have very, very high CTR rates. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Now, if you want to play around with the different settings, you can check these boxes and you can take a look at how your website looks. I'd also like to mention here that the first option and this option here, the last option, these options are also very good. You can use them as well. If you check all the boxes, your advertisements are going to rotate in those specific sequences. I personally do not check all the boxes. I just check this box here for the left column and this box here for the right column. So these are the two boxes that I check. Now, after you have inserted your AdSense codes in these boxes, this one here, and this one here, and even this one here, then you have to check these boxes and you can go down and you can save the changes. You hit the Save Changes button, the changes are going to get saved, and your advertisements are going to start rotating right away. So that's how you solve the problem of advertisement blindness. Now, before you start putting your advertisement blocks into these boxes, I would like to mention here that in my next lecture, I am going to be talking about the trick that I promised you earlier. So listen to that trick first, check out that trick first, and then go ahead and take your advertisement codes and put them in these boxes, because we are going to make some changes in these boxes, okay? So that's what I wanted to talk about, how to use this theme and how to set up the advertisements and how to set up your general site options. And then you can hit the save button and the changes are going to get saved. That's it, folks. In my next lecture, I will be talking about the trick that I promised earlier. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in my next lecture.